Should designers learn how to code in 2026? So let me show you a practical example. I have designed this button in Figma. It has this nice colorful shadow with the linear gradient. Also, there is this linear gradient applied to the border as well with a mask. As you can see, it's not showing up here because there is a mask. So I can assure you that if you were to manually code this, it wouldn't be difficult, but it wouldn't be easy too. So let's see what AI can do. I have already connected the MCP, the Figma MCP. We can select the button. We can copy the prompt, switch to cursor. Let's open the agent window. We want to implement this button from Figma, and we want it here. Let's use Fable 5, which is a very powerful model, and let's go. Okay, so the agent just completed its work. Let's see what we got here. So, okay, I can see the linear gradient for the border. Nice layout here for the text and the icon. I don't see the shadow. Let's be. I don't see the shadow from the Figma file. What about the code that was generated? Is there something very strange? Let me see. So there is a button. The surface here. This is the background color of the button, and it's in absolute position. That's fine. Well, it's using an image for the icon. This is going to be a problem. So, for example. Change the icon color to red. So I'm giving an instruction to another agent to change the color of the icon. So let's go back to the button. Let's see if I don't know if it's even possible for Fable to go back to the Figma file, retrieve the shadow, because it was not generated at all, the code of the shadow. Let's see if it can do that. In the meantime, it changed the color of the icon to red. So it looks fine, but actually it changed the color inside the SVG icon that's being imported, which means that all the places where this icon has been used, now the icon is red. So it's not changing the color with the class inline here, just for this place here where I'm using it. It has completely changed the aesthetic of the icon to be red. Now it's not doing this because the agent is dumb. I didn't provide enough context. You know, if there were skills about using the icons, if there was an icon component which was using, for example, current color, and the agent would have used this component properly. But you know, there is not enough context in just a simple Figma file with just a button. So one thing which is really bad is that to create this linear gradient for the border, it's actually using an SVG element as a mask, and it's a separated element that is generated inside this assets folder. It's this one, button border mask. That means that if we change the size of the button, for example, to width 80, let's try. As you can see, it is stretching the SVG mask. So the border radius is no longer working. So there are many issues here going on. So this is probably one of those cases where I preferred starting the code myself and then let AI help me, as opposed to debugging the CSS, which is annoying, boring, and more time consuming, I think, in this case. But just for the sake of this tutorial, what if we wanted to fix the issue with the border radius? I would, so let's try the approach with a prompt where we suggest a change with the prompt. Let's change model to cursor grok, and let's tell the agent that, and it's this element here, instead of using an SVG mask, use the, so I have this class that I use all the time, mask clip padding only. Use this class here. So this class basically it hides everything about an element except the padding area. So if you set a padding of 1 pixel, it is going to create a 1 pixel linear gradient in this case, as you can see here. And now, because we want the effect where just part of this linear gradient is visible, we can tell it add a contour to this element and apply a mask. But then we can tell it use tailwind mask image classes with 25%, something like that. So there is the colored shadow too. Let me see. Can we see the shadow? I don't. What is the shadow? Let me check. The shadow is not visible because it's below the button. So it should be lower. So we can prompt this change too, but we are not going to doing that for now. But as you can see, now we have the gradient where it should be, just at the bottom. So we can make many changes and improve what we got from Figma. To be honest, there is not enough context in this Figma file, so that's probably why the result is so bad. Usually it's better if there are more elements into the Figma file. So what is the point I'm trying to make? Should designers learn to code in 2026? Well, the designers, we are asked to be part of the building process in today's market. And that's not even an option, like we have to be part of the process. It was an option before AI, it's not today. So if we know something about coding, that's a great advantage to us, because I think that the magic happens at the intersection between what we are capable of doing and what AI can do to enhance our abilities. So that's where the magic happens. Does that mean that a designer who doesn't know how to code should invest months and even years trying to become a CSS guru or a JavaScript expert? Well, I don't think that makes sense in today's market. Like that wouldn't be something bad at all, but if I were to suggest a young designer or someone who doesn't know how to code, I wouldn't suggest spending months, doing a full immersion to try to be the expert in CSS, because you can learn the basics and let the AI help you. So you have to know enough for you to be a good director of the agent. If you know nothing, you will miss a few important things and your job will become a nightmare, because you're going to have to figure out what is not working, why this is not working, and it's very difficult if you're not technical even a little bit. And to do so, you do have to look at your code. So you will hear people, builders, saying that they have been building for months without even looking at their code. And it's true, but that's because they already knew how to do that stuff before, or at least they had enough knowledge to orchestrate their agents today. So now they don't need to look at their code, but that's because they've spent years looking at their code. So if you're starting out, just check your code and learn from it. So that is my opinion. At least for today's market. In a few years, who knows, maybe these models will become so good at designing that we're going to be less useful for the process. I don't want to sound dramatic, I just don't really know in today's market we are still very relevant to the process of building things. But I'd love to hear what you think about this. What's your experience? Are you a designer who's starting to code? Are you managing to build products without even coding, without even looking at your code, but just prompting? So please share your thoughts. I would love to hear that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.